Hello everyone, this is Isaac with Lotus. I'm going to be going through a few tips today. We're going to be talking to anyone who's just started playing, to people who've been playing for longer than I have. I think I have a few tips that are valuable for everybody. I know TJ Ken Colt made a video like this already. Go check that out. It looks a lot better than mine too, but he's a really good guy. I'm friends with TJ. There's going to be a few that will be kind of similar to the ones that he said. Others are going to be more towards your playing and your practicing that I think are very helpful. I'm really excited to get this channel going. I have a lot of really great ideas. I think there should be a lot more information spread about Kendama. So let's dive in. So the first tip is really simple, but I don't think a lot of people know about it. If you have a setup and you're not sure if it's going to be better for lunars or worse for lunars, what you can do is take the Serato off the Ken and weigh each piece individually. If the Serato weighs more than the Ken significantly, that's gonna tell you that that's better for lunars. It's not a clear-cut, precise way of determining it. There's some truth in that if the Serato weighs more, then it's better for lunars. So the second tip I want to share with you is three things actually. These are things that you can do to your Kendama that just makes it play better. First is to super glue your spike. Especially recommend this with beech Kendamas because beech wood wears down much more than maple or ash. Super glue your spike. It's gonna make it last longer. It's not gonna wear down as quickly. Recommend that you play it for a little bit before you do that. You don't want a sharp spike super glue to dent your tama. So I'll play it for a few hours. I'll wear it down a little bit. I'll put super glue on it. The tip is gonna stay fresh for a long time. The second one is more geared towards helping your stall game out. I quarter my bevel, but I don't do like a clean quarter. I rough it up a little bit, or I'll scrape it on some gravel, scrape it on some pavement. I don't like doing this to like a fresh Kendama. After I've played it, after I've got it broken in, I will rough it up if I feel like it needs to kind of hold stalls a little better. And the last one is if your Serato is coming off your Ken. This happens to me once in a while. There's some Kens the Serato will fall off all the time. What I do is I'll cut a sticky note, I'll throw that in the Serato, and then I'll put the Serato back onto the Ken, and that's just gonna add an extra layer to the Ken. That's gonna make the Serato stay there longer. I don't recommend super gluing it because then if it doesn't stay, it's gonna get really slippery, and super glue affects wood pretty badly. So I definitely recommend the sticky note route. So third tip here, get a group of friends that you can play with. Playing with friends is much different than playing by yourself. If there's no one local, there's people on Instagram, there's people on Facebook, the community's awesome. You guys probably know that already. Hit somebody up that you've talked to before, see if they want to play a game of Ken, see if they want to maybe just sesh for a half an hour to an hour some nights. I think playing with somebody else just adds a different energy to the reason that you're playing and into how you're playing. When you play by yourself, typically you're chasing new tricks, you land the trick and then you go after a new one. But when you play with friends, whether you're playing a game of Ken or you're seshing, you're typically doing tricks that you've already landed before. You're perfecting old tricks, and you know the energy, you know the feeling that you get when you are wanting to land something for your friend. That energy is something that you don't get playing by yourself. That being said, I want to make sure it's important that you do have motivation to play by yourself. That's where the progress happens. That's where you can really hone in on tricks, is taking the time by yourself to learn. But I think playing with friends is a great way to perfect your old tricks, get new ideas of tricks, and to have more fun with Kendama. I'm going to be doing Kendama Institute classes. There's a link below for you to go ahead and sign up. Highly recommend it to people. I mean, at least you're going to be playing Kendama for an hour, and at most you're going to be able to learn a new trick or tips for tricks that you're going after. You get to meet new people. It's really, really awesome. So hit the link, sign up below. So the fourth tip is kind of tied to the last one, but ask for help. There are so many people that have landed a trick that you're struggling with. Even for me, there's so many people that have landed a certain trick that I'm struggling with. Have the knowledge, that have the little tricks to help me land it. I ask for help all the time for people with my friends. I'm probably pretty annoying about that, but I highly recommend that you reach out to people. A great example of this is I was practicing fast hand lighthouse. I never really did it before. After about a half an hour, just kind of figuring it out, and then I figured out like a small trick to lower your fingers on the actual Ken. So instead of holding it like this, I would lower my fingers, and that way I could quickly get to the tama. That made it a lot easier to land. That next day, I was listening to Austin Donovan on the Dama Nerds podcast. He was sharing that exact same thing. It's a crazy coincidence, but he was talking about tricks to every trick. And he was talking about, for example, one thing that he was working on with the Fast Hand Lighthouse is lowering his fingers down. There are tricks to every trick. If somebody's landed that trick, he knows the tricks behind the tricks. I'm saying tricks way too much right now. that stuff is easily shared with other people. No matter what trick you're going for, somebody's probably already landed it. Definitely reach out to them and ask for some help. Also, it's important to be very specific when asking for help. I think it's pretty common for people just, once you ask a question, they just, throw out everything that they've ever learned about the trick. But if you're specific, you say, hey, I'm learning juggles, but what I'm specifically struggling on is making it look smooth, then they're gonna be able to answer their issue that they've had with that specific issue and just get more relevant, more direct help. And one thing you can do, I don't know how many views this video will get. Based on the last one, a few hundred views. So one thing that you can do is ask me, DM me on Instagram. I've replied to all my DMs. It doesn't hurt, and I love to teach people. I love to help people. So hit me up and I can help you out with that trick. All right, last tip here, 5th tip. This is more about kendama motivation. The tip is to make sure that you're working backwards sometimes. What I mean by that is instead of chasing tricks, trying to learn new tricks, landing one, going to the new one, what you want to do sometimes is just go back to a trick that you recently learned. Even if it seems easy now, just do it like 100 times. Just go over past tricks that you've learned. That's going to, when you're chasing tricks all the time, you can get frustrated very easily. You can not enjoy kendama as much. I think chasing a new trick every day, every week can get very old and very demanding. And what you need to do is be happy with what you've landed before. You need to be happy with how much progress you've made. And a great way to do that is to go over tricks that you've landed in the past. Look at your old Instagram videos to look at a trick that you've landed that you were really happy about. Have fun with it, and you're gonna be a lot better at it now. You're still improving, not taking time away from learning new tricks. You're improving your whole kendama play and your kendama ability, even if you're going to be going back to old tricks. Contests are a great way to improve your full kendama ability because you're doing a lot of tricks that you probably know already, that you've already landed, but you're mastering those tricks. You'd be surprised if Earth Turn, or if I said a trick that you feel that you have down, or maybe Big Cut for some people. What you think about it is, oh yeah, I get that trick down, that's really easy. But when it comes to doing it under pressure, if it comes to see how many times you can land it if you only have 10 attempts, or how many times you can land it out of 100 attempts, I bet you're gonna be surprised with how low that number is. And I have direct experience with this. I'm practicing for NAKO. There's a 1.5 swap in. That's a trick that I know really well. I do it 100 times expecting I'm gonna get 80, 90 out of 100 times. I ended up getting 20, was way off what I expected it to be. Kendama mastery, kendama expertise is a lot different than landing a trick that you've never landed before. You still get a lot of challenge and you get a lot of frustration. It's a lot of fun to go after tricks that you've landed and try to master old tricks. There's a lot of pleasure and a lot of enjoyment from that. To say that you can land a trick 90 out of 100 times, it's awesome. That's really cool. It's fun to chase those tricks, and again, you're not wasting time. That's stuff that's going to improve your game a ton by going after old tricks. And kind of tied to this, you want to be comparing yourself to who you were yesterday rather than comparing yourself to another player. I had this quote written down in my sesh room out back. You can definitely write down goals, your future goals for what tricks you want to learn, and some of those goals might be let's say Nick Gallagher has landed before. What you want to stay away from is trying a trick, let's say like a tray flip, someone's profile, and seeing how easily they do tray flips, and say to yourself, well, I put in a lot of practice, why can't I do them like that? I guarantee they put more time into it than you. That's what it comes down to. And look at what your tray flip was looking at like yesterday or the day before, and how many times you've landed it yesterday, and go for more compared to where you were yesterday. It's immensely helpful, gets you in the right mindset. You don't get frustrated as much. You're improving a ton. I think it's good to still go on Instagram and see where everyone's playing at. That's going to be motivation for you to play, but you certainly shouldn't think that by watching them play, it's improving your game. You need to be taking your own personal steps to get better. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a good time making it. I hope those tips are valuable for you. Any other tips that you want to add on, feel free to leave a comment below. That's super helpful for people. Let me know if you have any questions about anything that I said. I tend to ramble. Just shoot me some clarifying questions. I'll work those out. I appreciate so much all the support from the last juggling tutorial. I got a bunch of DMs saying how that helped me. One of my Kendama Institute classes, someone said that helped them a lot. Awesome to hear. That's exactly why I'm doing these videos. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day and keep playing.